Hello guys, what's going on? Um, I'm going to be I'm going to be giving my analysis on Bitcoin today, and yeah. So Bitcoin is currently at a critical point, institutional level. Let's see where we are right now. Let's see how we can actually um, let's see how we can actually move or flip the script, guys. Right? Let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen the next 2-3 minutes. I just want a lot of participants to come online. Then I get to do that, right? Yeah. Can you guys see my screen? If you can see my screen, just let me know in the comment section. You can see my screen. Okay. So this is my analysis on Bitcoin. The first thing I want to do is I want to zoom into uh, the weekly time frame, right? I want to zoom into the weekly time frame. I want to clear my chart, clear totally, clear my chart. And I want you guys to see this, right? Without indicators, I want you guys to see this. You can see one on the weekly time frame. The overall trend is bullish. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to doubt. I'm not going to assume. The overall trend is still bullish, but the correctional move is what we are talking about. The what? The correctional move. Right? Now, this correctional move is already happening. We are already selling off for a correction. And it's very simple. We are most likely going to come down to this point. Very, very simple. We are most likely going to come down to this point. Now, there's something I want you guys to understand when we are actually trading. There's something I want you guys to understand, right? Now, the market is a fight between institutions and retailers. Take this from me. The market is a fight between institutions and retailers. Now, why do I say so? When retailers are buying, right, institutions are placing sell orders to sell. When retailers are buying, institutions are placing sell orders to sell. Am I making sense? So, for the fact that you already know that it's a war between institutions and retailers, trading becomes much, much easier for you. Now, just look at this on the weekly time frame. We already have our directional bias here. We have our structure. We have break of structure here, right? We have a pullback somewhere around here. This could possibly act as an inducement. And then we have our internal range of what? Liquidity here. Which is a fair value gap on the weekly time frame. This is us zooming in. Now, because you already know that the fight is between retailers and institutions, how do you know when retailers are buying? I think that's the next question you would want to ask, or you would want to find out. How do you know when institutions or retailers are buying? Now, it's very clear and simple. I'll give you a very typical example. This session is going to be long because I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Assuming we're on a downtrend like this, and we have our supply here, because institutions were selling from here. Remember, when retailers are buying, institutions are placing sell orders to sell, right? Good. And we begin to see something like this, a pullback of this nature. Right? We begin to see a pullback of this nature. Do you see that price did not mitigate this supply? Yes, price did not mitigate this supply because now look at what price did. Instead of mitigating this order block, price probably must have mitigated a fair value gap here, internal range. Now, the reason is because retailers were the ones buying this pullback. This pullback was bought by retailers. Can you see? Retailers were the ones buying this pullback. They were the ones buying this pullback. You see? They were the ones buying into this pullback. Now, How do we know if it was retailers that bought the pullback? There is no liquidity sweep. A liquidity sweep or a turtle soup is usually like this. A downtrend, we have something like this. Then we have something like this. Price sweeps and then begins towards move up. If you are still seeing my screen, just let me know. Now, all right, all right, all right, all right, that's fine. Now, right, this has a liquidity sweep. Excuse me. This has a liquidity sweep. You can see. And it is this sweep that has fueled the movement back to the upside and back to these higher levels, right? But in a situation where retailers are buying, this is institutional what purchase. This schematic here is institutional what purchase. But a situation whereby retailers are the ones buying the pullback, you're going to see something like this, right? Downtrend, you're going to see a big move like this. And then the pullback will not be deep. It will just go halfway and then fall back again. Probably what mitigate a fair value gap somewhere around here. Probably, right? Now, the pullback will end probably maybe just around this zone here, around this level, right? Now, this is it. So let's look at Bitcoin now from the 4-hour time frame and see if it was the what retailers that were buying the pullback. We're going to do this same trick or this same strategy for um, other tokens, right? We're going to do it for other tokens. All right, so I'm going to actually delete all these things. So from the daily, from the weekly, we are bullish because we are creating highs on Bitcoin, but there's a high tendency that we might still fall down towards internal range liquidity, which is somewhere around there. So now let's see what the 4 hours is telling us. Let's see what the 4 hours time frame is telling us if we are actually still selling, right? If we are actually still selling. Now, the 4 hour time frame is showing us this that we are distributing. Knock this off and analyze from the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is telling us that we are distributing. How do we know we are distributing? One of the clues of distribution is volatility. The moment you begin to see widespread like this, you see price is going up like this, widespread like this. The moment you begin to see a lot of widespread like that, we already know that we are what distributing. Now, here's a typical example of what I'm saying. Can you see the spread? Very wide, high volatility. So this means we are distributing. Now, because we are distributing, it means there's a sell-off currently ongoing, right? There's a sell-off. Okay. It means there's a sell-off currently ongoing. Just take all these guys out. Means there's a sell-off. Now I'm going to plot the institutional levels. I'm coming. Just hold on. Now, price has gotten here a distribution, right? Price is here at the moment. Take this guy out. Price is here at the moment. Now, since we are distributing, the first innate perception you should have about the market is that price is falling. Now, we have created a range and price has retraced back to this point. So, it is of every high tendency that price will come back again to reclaim this level. To reclaim this level. But we don't know when it is going to happen. We don't know. The only way we can know when institutions are selling is when we have a double sweep of liquidity. Now, a double sweep of liquidity usually happens when institutions take out both buyers and sellers at the same time and then go into the right direction or their intent of direction. We call it I of D, intent of direction. So after buyers and sellers have been taken out, institutions now move price to where they want to what? Push price to and hold that region. Now, this is how you see a double sweep of liquidity. You're going to see a double sweep like this. Okay, you're going to see a double sweep like this. Let's say price is like this. No, let me put price coming down. Let's say price is coming down. You see a sweep to the downside first of all. And then you see a sweep to the upside. Probably maybe leave an inducement and then break down. I put this in a range now. You see it. Now, institutions have started selling because they've taken out sellers. This is the sell side liquidity because a lot of sellers have been here trying to trade a continuation, which is a breakdown, right? And buyers here would have been purged out because they wanted to trade a breakout. I'll put this in blue or green rather. And put this in red, very dark red. This very dark green. Now, both buyers and sellers have been purged. What will price do? Price will come back again to respect that region. Come back to try and respect the region. And then again before coming down. So everywhere you see liquidity sweep, know that institutions were present there. Know that institutions were actually present there. Now, on this chart, this is where institutions sold off from. This level here. Here. This is the double sweep I'm talking about. Institutions sold off from here. So if we go down again to lower time frame, you're most likely going to see what exactly I'm talking about. Most likely going to see what I'm talking about. Put this in red and light, a little bit light. Okay. Now, can you see the sweep? This is a sweep. Sellers were taken out, buyers were taken out. Make this darker a little. Sellers, and then buyers were taken out. So you can see now, the moment sellers were taken out, price automatically would have, rallied to the upside, but that did not happen, right? That did not happen. That did not what? It did not happen, right? Now, we started what? Pushing down with speed. Can you see the speed we used in pushing down? Push down with speed. Push down with speed to the downside, to the downside, to the downside, right? Now, what did price do? Price came back here again. Came back here to reclaim this level, to reclaim this particular level, and then we sold off. Can you see the accuracy? This cannot be random. This cannot what? Be random. This is absolutely not random. There's a reason for this. Now, price has started the same model again. Who is buying the pullback? You see the rally to the downside. You see the rally to the downside, yeah? There's a rally to the downside. Now, the pullback has started. The first question is, who is buying the pullback? Who is buying this pullback? There's no liquidity sweep here, obviously. So it cannot be institutions. Forget about what you see here, even though this is an order block or whatever. Forget about this. These things do not count now. We're only looking at what is currently happening. So, big question, who is buying this pullback, guys? Who is buying this pullback? Obviously, it is not institutions, right? It cannot be institutions. It cannot be. Because if it were institutions, you would have seen something like this. Remember what I just said? You would have seen something like this, and then a sweep to the downside, then price will rally. But we are not getting this. Unless we come back again to see a sweep from here now, sweep this lows, and then push up. Right? Am I making sense? So except we come back again to see a sweep of this low to pull back. But right now, price is currently inside an internal range liquidity, which is this fair value gap. So if we begin to see a liquidity sweep inside here, which is the trademark of institutions, if we now begin to see something like this, a sell model, let's say we begin to see something like this, if we begin to see something like this inside here, this is going to be the biggest trade I must have taken since last week, right? If I begin to see a schematic like this, what I'm going to do, clear and simple, I'm going to have to go all in, take a sell from here like so. And you know what I'm going to target? I'm going to target the very low. I'm going to target here. So I'm very patient. I'm going to target here on Bitcoin, and that will give me up to 1 to 14 RR if I catch this move from here now, right? If I get a sell from here, right? Right. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that if I see a sell from there, because institutions did not buy the pullback. So remember, it's a war between institutions and retailers. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. That's fine. So we're done with BTC. We're done with BTC. If we catch this move from here, expect 1 to 10 or 1 to 11 RR. We're done with BTC. Let's go into altcoins now. Now, before you go into altcoins, you want to check the market cap of uh, total altcoins. This is total market cap excluding BTC. So this is the total market cap of all altcoins currently. Let's see what they are up to. Let's check the weekly. Remember, we're out here to what? Do a real top-down analysis on whatever we're trying to achieve. From the weekly, I can already see that there is an institutional sale ongoing. So altcoins may dump anytime from now. See this place here, there's a sale currently ongoing. But this sale that just happened, here, this sale that just happened, let's see what it is on the lower time frame. Could be a very big disaster for altcoins if what I'm anticipating is actually true. We are distributing. Can you see? There's a sweep of liquidity. We are obviously distributing on altcoins. We're distributing on altcoins, and this is what is going on currently. This is what is going on currently. We have a sweep of liquidity from here. Of course, we have a change in state of delivery somewhere here. Have a change in state of delivery. And you can see how price just rallied to the downside. This big move now, right? This big move has swept liquidity here. But we cannot be certain enough to say that We can't be certain enough to say that uh, what is going on here is a buy or it's a liquidity sweep, as a lot of persons call it. No, we can't just assume that any spike you see is a liquidity sweep. There was a spike here. There was a spike here. Can you see a spike? This was a major spike. This was a major spike, major spike. This was a major spike. And price still came back to reclaim that level, right? We came back to reclaim the level here, meaning price still went deeper, right? In Wyckoff schematic, we call this selling climax. We call that a selling climax. So here was the actual move that gave us a push to the upside, right? So don't always feel that every big spike will lead to um, an upward movement. You can see one that happened here. I'm just trying to take you guys back in time. You can see one that happened here. Can you see? Yes, this led to a big movement and we recovered immediately. You see, this is what we call a V-shaped recovery. We recovered almost immediately. See, we recovered almost immediately. We recovered almost immediately back to the upside. Can you see this? Back to the upside. The same thing happened here. Almost immediately to the upside, right? But this is totally different. Can you see? We were supposed to have a recovery from here, but it's not happening. We are printing what? Another break of structure. Can you see? We are still going down, we are still going lower and lower and lower. So since that is not happening for the now, um if you check closely, since that is not happening for the now, since this is not a capitulation, it's not a recovery, price may do something like this, begin to respect institutional words, order flows, and start selling to the downside. It's going to now use here as a word selling climax. So here we will now become the selling climax. Then price will come back like this. then give us the move back into the range, and then we move up. That is if we are likely to have this. That is if we are likely to have this as an accumulation, right? As what? An accumulation. So where will we likely accumulate from? Probably maybe inside one of these fair value gaps here, because there will be a lot of CMEs here. Yeah, probably maybe at this level. The demand here, probably maybe at this level, or better still, may come back here. But certainly, we may not be seeing that bullish push from this point. Even though it may happen, price is likely to come back to this level before coming down. So now that we know that altcoins are bearish, let's check on ARB and possibly maybe Ethereum, right? Let's check on these assets. Let's check on them and check what they are doing. All the charts are looking similar, but if you look very closely, let's check from the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you could see that we're selling aggressively on this particular asset. We're selling aggressively. Price has been bearish. You can see that uh, it was not retailers that bought the pullback because there was no liquidity sweep. Retailers did not buy this pullback. Price broke structure. It came back inside an internal range with a CROT model. Oh my goodness, this was a perfect trade with a CROT model here. So we are still expecting a body break of structure here, a candle body break. And then this low will be taken out. This low will be taken out. Now, we already know we are bearish. We are selling. There's no two ways about this. Internal rate liquidity, price went there. Retailers bought. Maybe they heard some news and they did not understand what was going on and they started buying. So we're already selling now. So I'm waiting for a candle break, and then a break of this low, and then price will do something like this. Price may now do something like this. Probably maybe go up from here, because price will definitely come and retest that level. Maybe we'll push further to this point. So I'm looking at November for this particular one. Yeah, looking at November. So let's go back to 1 hour time frame and see where we can actually take a possible entry. We already know now that we are selling. We are selling to this low. We are selling to this low here. Highlight this low. Drop your questions in the comment section. I'm going to attend to them. Okay. Joel, you're asking why did it not happen? Why did what not happen? Why did what not happen? Just Send a message here. I've already showed you guys institutional levels and what have you. Um, yes, the institutional levels. I'm going to use this as a case study now. Arbitrum. Hope you can see my screen. Remember, I said institutions are likely to do two things: a single sweep or a double sweep, but there must be a sweep of liquidity showing you that they are present. Look at this chart very well. Can you see this range? Look at the sweep. Sellers were taken out. How do you know sellers were taken out? Because when you see this big move to the downside, a lot of sellers will think, oh, price wants to go up, price wants to come down, right? They are impatient, right? They start selling and then they put their stop loss somewhere around here. They put their stop loss here. Let's say sell stops. Let's say sell stops. Sell stops. Now, buyers are taking out. Let's put this in green. It's the same thing I did before. Same thing I did before. Buyers are taking out. Where are they going to put their buy stops? Probably maybe somewhere around here. So the point at which sell stop and buy stops are taken out almost simultaneously, it gives us to what? It gives rise to what? Volatility. When sell stops, this is REMA, write this down. When sell stops and buy stops are taken out almost simultaneously, it gives rise to what? Very, 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 very high volatility. So these are buy stops. These are buy stops, right? Buy stops. We have sell stops, we have buy stops. So we now mark this zone as institutional what? Level. Let me remove all these guys. So this is our institutional what? Level. We mark here the entire box. A lot of people will take the mid-range, but I don't like to take the mid-range. This is we can do it in three ways. We can refine it, but this zone now is institutional zone currently. A lot of persons will do this. They'll mark the mid-range, or probably maybe mark the A level. If you are an MSN Malaysian SNR trader, a lot of them will mark this A level. You can see how price just reacted from there immediately. Can you see? Price reacted from here immediately and started moving to the downside. Now, SMC or ICT traders will mark the other block, but I'm just showing you this is the institutional zone. ICT traders will come here and mark the other block. Let me remove this. They will come here and mark this as the other block. Right? They are all right. Nobody is wrong. It's just different approach to the market. It's just different approach to the market, right? They are all correct. So now that we know we are bearish, we also saw that institutions stepped into the market. How do we know? We saw a liquidity sweep. We saw that there was a sweep going on here. There was a sweep currently ongoing there. And we have our CISD here, change the state of delivery. Price mitigated it. Now retailers are buying again because they are seeing this as an order block. You see, this is where knowledge comes into play. They are now seeing this as another block. They are seeing this place here now as another block. So they will start buying. But they are forgetting that institutions were the ones that bought from here. It was not retailers. Institutions bought from, retailers were the ones that bought from here, right? Not institutions. Retailers bought this move, and institutions are defending their position. Institutions are what? Let me write it. Institutions are defending positions. Institutions are defending positions at this level because here is where the word sweep started from. So most likely, since they are defending this position, they will also sweep liquidity inside here again, which they have done now, and they are already moving down. So there's a high tendency that price could come up. Retailers may buy up to this point. They will exhaust their buying pressure or buying or their equity. They might exhaust their equity from there. And then we now begin to see, we'll see something like this. Maybe back into here. And then we now see the final sweep of liquidity to the downside again. Where are we targeting? In the long term, we're targeting here. This is where we're targeting in the long term. Targeting because since retailers were the ones buying here, institutions must defend their positions, except they engineer liquidity somewhere around here. So this is going to be my first TP. I would like to take my first TP somewhere here, and then second TP here, and then the final TP. This might take almost a whole month to play out, but it will definitely play out. Final TP will be this level here. Yeah, I hope you guys could see my screen. Just ask me questions in the chat box, and I'm going to reply to you almost immediately. I'm going to reply. Ask me. I'm taking questions now. Just ask me. Okay, if there are no questions, I may just have to end this live stream right now and forward the video so that you guys could watch it. All right, cheers, guys. One love.